I'll get you the. I'll get you the link here in a second. There you go. I just sent it to you. I'm going to post the link to my YouTube, and then we'll get going. So you got some cool stuff to talk about from tour duty today?
I apologize. I was shooting a small video.
I know. You're TikTok famous now, right?
Something like that.
Trying to be. We're all trying to be.
Not my department, you know.
I know.
You're just specialized in the ticks and the talks, you know. I did get like 31,000 views today, though.
Nice.
Yeah. So that's kind of crazy, but.
My man's going viral over there.
Something like that. You know, use all the tools you can, you know, even ones you don't know too much about, and trust other people to do them for you.
So did you eat dinner yet?
I ate about half my dinner. I basically get food prep delivered every night. I worked out a deal with a company here in town called Prep Pros Tally. Deliver 14 meals a week. So I get a nice lunch and a nice dinner every night. But I eat about half my box of food for the night.
Good for you.
I'm gonna eat the second half. It's kind of a treat.
Yeah. We ready to get started?
I'm sending the link right now. Give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, no problem. Oh, did
you put out your tweet?
Yeah, I did. Retweet.
Okay.
I tagged you.
How was your day?
It was good. I'm just still in off-season mode, so I'm not. It'll start heating up when you guys start back with practice.
You gonna make it to any practices?
No, but I'll probably be at the spring game.
Okay. It's very industry of you, Josh.
I mean, we got guys there. There's 3 guys there every day for us.
I get it. You hate me. It's fine.
No, we all cut our own deals, Dylan. We all cut our own deals. And my deal is I can do my job from here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have to be in Tallahassee.
I guess there's worse deals.
Yeah, there's worse deals. No, this is the deal that I want. I love Tallahassee. I'm not down on Tallahassee.
You just wanted.
It was the 5 greatest years of my life.
Yeah, you played too much Frisbee.
Yeah, but I'm done with that.
There's a bunch of all the signs in the bars. They're like, no enter. Josh Newberg.
All right, here we go. This is episode 23. All right, we are recording. We are live on YouTube right now. Let's get it going. 3, 2, 1. Welcome to Big Man, Big Heart with Dillan Gibbons. I am your host, Josh Newberg. This is episode 23. We are coming to you live on a Thursday evening as we tape this. If you are watching on YouTube, thank you. And if you are supporting us on our podcast platforms, we appreciate that as well. Dylan, welcome to the show. How you doing?
I am doing wonderful. I had a long day, but a very rewarding day. We'll get into it, but today was the last tour of duty here at Florida State. My last mat drill in general in college football, which is an exciting thing. Something you're always thinking about in the back of your mind when when you start the whole college football endeavor. But it isn't a day you necessarily see, right? You don't really see the end. But today was an end of a chapter. Something I was very excited about. And I know the boys were all juiced up to get into spring football. I'm just very excited moving forward with this team, with my coaches and all the staff we have behind us here at Florida State. And the wonderful fans and people listening to this podcast today. And we're looking forward to getting into the next chapter of Florida State football.
Yeah, man. So you get tour duty ends today. You get one day off. Do you even get a day off? Like, do you guys really take tomorrow off? Or are you lifting?
No.
Are you doing something?
Yeah, we're not taking tomorrow off. No question. We'll have a lift tomorrow. I'll probably get like 3.5 hours of treatment, maybe 4 in tomorrow at some point during the day. Have about normal length lift, probably an hour 30 minutes. And then I believe we have about 2.5 hours of meetings in the evening. So it's gonna be a full day tomorrow. Again, you got to imagine. Sometimes some people aren't. I've been through football for a while now, right? I've seen it kind of. Even though this is my first spring in Florida State football, I understand how things work. And there's a lot of different people in the organization that are coming from different levels. So we need to prepare the young guys, especially as we move into spring football. I was describing to the group earlier. This is quite the grace period, right? Because of course we have these walkthroughs, we have these meetings. Those are times where you can get called out for not necessarily knowing what to do. But as soon as lights are on you, and we're practicing in the afternoons here in spring football, you only really get to practice 3 times a week. There's a day in between. That whole day is spent analyzing that film. So the eye in the sky never lies. And what we've put in now to this point throughout this whole winter training process, right? Throughout the lifting cycle and everything. And the meetings that we've met with our GAs and our position coaches, all that time and effort is going to be coming basically to show, right? So if you want to have any type of chance of competing, to be in the 1 or 2 deep in an offensive line unit, especially here at Florida State football, you have to be sure that you put in that work, But more importantly, that showcases on film, right? Because you can beat your head against the wall for hundreds and hundreds of hours, watching film or just sitting down, going through the plays. But if that doesn't show up on the football field, it doesn't matter. And what we have to do here is we're all gifted offensive linemen, right? We have a lot of big bodies, a lot of freak athletes, but we're really just trying to get guys to put it all together. And I know we have a lot of guys that can, but I'm challenging guys every day to put their best foot forward so they can be champions.
All right, we're going to talk more about tour duty here in a minute, but before we jump ahead to that, let's talk a little bit about the latest with Big Man, Big Heart.
Yeah, so everything's going great right now. I introduced Jamion Franklin and being my friend from Notre Dame, and now he's at Duke. And, he's doing some really cool things, right? Even yesterday, he was putting up big weight in the weight room. You can check out his Instagram. Over 600-pound squat, close to a 400 something pound bench. Just absolute freak of nature. But he is another big guy. Big muscles, big heart. And he put together a GoFundMe for his family. They've been through some tough times. Feel free to read their story a little bit more on my Twitter and Instagram. You can check out the link in my bio. Basically, he put together a fundraiser himself. Was able to raise a significant amount of funds, and then actually requested my assistance to try to bring it to the next level. So far, he's raised about $28,000 to move his family. Basically, just move them to the Raleigh-Durham area. Again, his family, his mom and dad are both going through wildly different experiences. His dad struggled with cancer in the blood for the past couple of years. His mom was recently diagnosed with breast cancer and had a port put in this week. Both family members aren't doing very well. Jamion is trying to do his best to support his family. He took a few weeks off football just to be with them, take care of them, the little things you don't really think about, especially if both your parents would be in the hospital like that. So, again, he's done a great job in putting this GoFundMe together. My team wrapped our arms around Jamion and his family to help support that GoFundMe, helping tell the story more eloquently and providing some other useful things to take that GoFundMe to the next level. So we've been able to raise a significant amount of funds. But, again, if anybody listening to this podcast or watching it live right now on YouTube knows anybody from the Duke, the Raleigh-Durham area, please let me know. We're trying to spread the word as much as possible. So I challenge everybody to send this to 5 different people, right? Check out my Twitter, check out my Instagram, and just send the story around. Again, that's what the power is of college football. And if we could utilize that a little bit better than we are currently, I think we'd really be able to change the landscape.
I agree with that, and hopefully Florida State fans out there are are up to support another great effort by your Big Man, Big Heart crew. Tell us a little bit about the fishing expedition that we have planned.
Yeah, so the fishing expedition still evolving, right? I've told everyone about it before, right? About 90 kids in the Boys and Girls Club. Hopefully being able to meet at Joe Bud Youth Conservation Center. It's a wonderful lake, kind of like an overstocked type pond. I ended up having a conversation with Director Sutton from the FWC. It was a pretty vague conversation, right? I wanted to tell them about the event, what I've done so far, the connections I've made within the FWC and within the fishing space, right? Whether that's the people at the park, Bass Pro Shops, Camping World, Good Sam, just people that he relatively have contact with. And I wanted to hear his perspective on the trajectory of Big Man, Big Heart. But I also pitched him the idea around the event. And I was actually given the full support of the FWC. So that is a kind of a crazy thing to be able to accomplish. And I'm so grateful to be able to have them on board. What this is going to add to it is about 45 officers is what I anticipate being there. And those are men and women with a gun on their hip and a badge on their chest. The frontward-facing picture of government, right? In a position that a lot of kids, kids from around here in Tallahassee, probably would not have interaction with if not for this event. So these kids are going to have the first, positive experience around fishing with one of these officers right next to them, fishing with them, showing them the way, and showing them basically just teaching them how to fish. So the event's centered around faith, family, football, and fishing, which are my core values. I didn't always play football. When I was back home when I was a kid, of course I played basketball, but I really just spent a lot of time, hanging out with my family and fishing off my dock. That's what kept me out of trouble as a kid. It's what kept my mind occupied. So I'm just trying to inspire these kids. They don't necessarily have to pick up fishing, but if I can give them a positive experience around Florida State football, the FWC, and of course with all the other individuals we're going to be including from Capitol Police and Florida Bomb Squad and other departments across our great state, it should be a very, very impactful event. The whole thing around Big Man, Big Heart is I'm just trying to multiply the greatness I can accomplish for the people here in Tallahassee, mainly the youth and underprivileged youth. And using my platform, using my position as a football player, that's what I've been able to accomplish. So I really look forward to that event. I look forward to things kind of becoming a little bit more clear as we kind of put pen to paper on the dates and things of that nature. But it's really working out. And my interns here in Tallahassee, my family back home have helped me a lot throughout this process, and I can't thank them enough.
That's great to hear. And if anybody wants more information, they can go to bigmanbigheart.com. All the GoFundMes, everything's there, right there. So go check that out if you want to know more or just know where to donate. Let's move on back to tour duty. Like you said, maybe a little bit of an emotional day. Today was the last day of tour duty, which is Florida State mat drills. Florida State's peak off-season conditioning came to an end today. This was your first full tour duty. How do you feel coming out of it?
Yeah, so I'll start you from my morning, right? And a lot of people don't know this about me, but I like to get places, intensely early, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I want it to be known how early I got to somewhere, right? And that's what I always try to do, no matter what time of day it is, no matter what event I'm going to. And that'll kind of stem from my experience in Notre Dame. We did mat drills in Notre Dame, right? They weren't necessarily the same drills we did here at Florida State, or the same type of experience. But even then, what was basically taught to me is how important it was to get on time. Seeing guys like Mike McGlinchey, Quentin Nelson get there an hour early, it made me want to get there 2 hours early.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I do. I woke up at 4 o'clock this morning, ended up getting to the facility around 4:15. Made my way over to the guest locker room. Right now they're renovating our main locker room. I'm doing a great job with it. Don't tell anyone, but I peeked my head in there and it was pretty crazy. So I'm excited to be able to reveal the whole thing. Again, they showed me everything, but I made a friend and I walked in there. Bottom line, I made my way back out of there, went to the training room, ended up getting about 2 hours of treatment, laced up my cleats, threw on my braces, went out there and started tour duty. So what I've been expecting, at least in this second half, of the cycle, like I explained last week, really tour duty originally was basically the whole time. You're either doing mats or you're doing drills, kind of like a circuit training type drill system where you're doing different drills, 5, 10, 5s, different cone drills, just really trying to challenge guys' minds, catch them off guard, put them in adverse situations. Well, this second half of tour duty is mainly, half football related drills and half mat drills, right? So about 30 minutes for each, give or take. Usually it's around 40. So bottom line, the offense, so the whole line, all the groups started on the other end of the field, right? So we were all doing drills. Had a great time, working our technique and fundamentals. Again, just kind of start that process, especially the younger guys, just showing them how that evolution of, just punching a pad or exploding through your hips turns into a whole process right at the line of scrimmage, and trying to make movement right off the ball, when you're in a tight space. So that was a great aspect of it. But something unusual happened, right? Usually the offense starts over here, defense starts over here. We just flip, running by each other like two ships in the night. But the coaches decide to do something different, right? And usually it's not great when you hear we're going to do something different on a football field. Usually that's an adverse situation, to say the least, up, downs, whatever it might be. It might be running, it might be something.
Yeah,
it's usually not good. But this one was good. We ended up stopping about 5 minutes early from the actual switch, and the whole offense went and cheered on the defense as they finished up mat drills.
Cool.
So we rallied around the boys, hyped the guys up. Some of the offensive guys even jumped on the mat and started doing the drills with the defense, even though they were going to be doing the drills, and vice versa. The defense did the same thing when we were going. So it was absolutely an incredible experience to be around. Like I said, I was at Notre Dame and I was there for 4 years, and I got my degree and everything. I never experienced a moment like that in training, at least,
Really?
where people were cheering each other on in that kind of way. There's a fake kind of cheer on, like that's something that's usually, a coach is like, hey, I want to see you guys clapping. I want to see you engage with the game on the sideline. This was something deeper. This is exactly what Coach Norvell has been promising us for years. Again, building a culture of self-accountability, where we want to bring these guys up, cheer them on, and again, just challenging people. And that's what really happens, and that's how you find the leaders in the team. So it was great to see the guys all encouraging each other. Some guys, like I said, jumping into drills they even have to be in yet, which is kind of an unprecedented thing. You don't necessarily want to do more reps, but they were doing it just to encourage guys. So that was an incredible thing to see. Definitely a great way to end mat drills or basically tour duty here at Florida State and move into spring football.
So what did you learn about this team from your perspective?
I think it's tough, right? Because I've been able to see, the faces like before mat drills, right? Because again, like I get up early, I'm attentive, my eyes are open, I'm already awake by the time I get there on the field. But it was really interesting to see the commitment level of the guys, right? As a coach, it's easy to pick on, a few guys. That guy looks tired, that guy looks sleepy. But for the most part, the guys showed up ready to work every day. And I think that's a great thing to have on a team like that, right? Not many guys, showed up late over the whole 12 tour duties we had. And I'm just really, really excited to be a part of this team. Again, I think the most incredible moment I've had on this team happened this morning. I think that was probably around 6 o'clock when we were all cheering each other on. But again, I haven't had really enough time to overanalyze that situation. But I do think it does say a number about our team and what our trajectory looks like, at least as we head into spring football. Spring football is very competitive, but to be able to start it together, as an actual team and not as a bunch of individuals trying to go out there and get theirs during spring football, fulfilling their legacy, making their families proud. It was a different moment. It was, we're all proud of each other, right? And we're going to work together to accomplish some great things this spring and not put each other in compromising situations.
That's great to hear. It really is, because I get what you mean. It's like when you guys get there on March 5th for the first day of spring, it's not like the first time you guys have come together. I mean, shoot, you guys are together entering the spring. So that's big. I think that's big.
Yeah, and I think having those adverse situations where people are kind of put in that fight or flight type scenario, right? And that could be, either a cheer or don't cheer, focus on yourself, focusing on your breathing and getting ready for the next drill. We're sacrificing, cheering a guy on, pushing him to his limits and pushing him to a point he's never really been before. And I think that says a lot. So I'm excited about getting to spring football again. I'm actually pumped. You can kind of hear in my voice. I'm a little bit giddy tonight.
No, it's awesome.
I'm getting after it.
I get it. Coming off of a season where you guys were playing better towards the end, playing better as an offensive line unit, coming together, getting a couple key pieces this offseason that can help some of the younger guys developing and getting healthy. There's a lot to be excited about for you. So we talked about what you walk around at, your target weight. How are you feeling right now? Are you in a process of trying to bulk up a little bit? as spring comes, or how do you handle spring?
I'm just trying to stay consistent. Again, as we move towards summer and towards camp, I'm going to lose a bunch of weight. That's just kind of how it goes. I'm a Florida boy, but I sweat a lot and I lose a lot of my body weight just being in the heat. Even though I was at Notre Dame and it wasn't necessarily the same temperature, I would shed a lot of weight. So I'm staying consistent, trying to be around 325. Yesterday I was around 326. Today I was right at 325. So that's my target weight. That's where I like playing at. I would like to try to lose a little bit and gain a little bit, of course. And that's kind of what they do in any program. And I'm sure that'll be part of my regimen as I get into the summer. But for spring football, I'm trying to stay consistent. Get some actual solid and quality reps at the weight I'm going to play at this season.
Great. It's good to hear. So what do you guys, you start practice this weekend. When is spring break for you guys?
The spring break's in another week. So basically,
Okay.
I believe it's this upcoming Friday, not tomorrow, but in a week from now. Is when we get off for our spring break. We're off for a solid week. I believe you have to report back either the following Friday or the Saturday. But I'm just going to go home for a few days. Basically, just going to hang out with my family. I think we might take a day or two trip down to the Keys.
Spring break 22.
Herbert going down to Hawks Cay. It's a family thing, Again, I'm not going on a cruise. I'm not going to hang out with a bunch of friends. I'm just going out to just spend some quality time with my family. College football is pretty draining. People don't really talk about that a lot. The amount of time you spend away from your family. Again, it's like going to college, right? You lose a lot of that time with your family, but taking to another level. I really don't have much time during the year at all. The biggest time of my year is either after a bowl game, spring break, or right before camp. Those are the only times we really have off. We have like a week or two off in the summer, but that's about it. It's definitely a good time to get home, kind of reset and focus as I get into this. The majority of spring football.
Well, I'm taking my spring break. I'm actually leaving for Colorado on March 5th, Saturday, and I'm going out there for till Thursday or Friday of the next week. So
that's some exciting stuff.
Yeah. You ever snowboard?
Not a snowboarder, more of a skier.
Oh, okay.
You want a funny skiing story?
Yeah, give it to me. So
my dad, right?
Yep.
My dad, he used to be a pretty limber guy back in the day. He did judo at a very competitive level for a number of years. He's honestly a pretty scary individual. Almost a sleeper in a way. He has cauliflower ears, and people that know what that is or how you get those that type of ear don't really mess with him. So again, he's a tough guy, right? But here's one small story. So we were skiing down a mountain. I forget what mountain it was. We were in Colorado. We used to go skiing about once a year when I was a kid. Not enough to have our own skis. We were just renting skis and having some fun, going through ski school and things of that nature when I was little. We were going down a pretty steep slope. And it was probably about midday. My parents were behind us, right? All the kids were skiing in front. And my dad, he probably thought he was a speed racer or something, but he hit a patch of ice, and his knee kind of conked out to the right. And he ended up, he thought he tore everything up in his knee. He could barely put any weight on it. So my dad's laying there, and bottom line, he was thinking about having ski patrol come and then bring him down the mountain. And my mom, she's a very strong woman, strongest woman I've ever met in my life. Has done a great job with her profession and does a great job in her day-to-day life, taking care of her family and doing a lot of wonderful things for us. She looked down and I'm told to get up. You're skiing down the mountain. So he skied down the mountain to figure out that he broke a bone in his knee. So that's the last time. That's the last time we went skiing. Not necessarily because of the injury, but more or less because we were getting older. And as you can imagine, I'm pretty limber, but I don't necessarily trust myself going skiing or snowboarding anymore.
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm gonna try to be very careful out there, Dylan.
Yeah, my dad was coaching AAU basketball at the time, so he refused to use a crutch. So he's using this big old cane just around an AAU basketball court. It was hilarious. It would have been a sight to see back in the day.
Before we get out of here, are you watching any new shows? Do you even have time to watch new shows at this point?
Ooh, I don't watch a lot of TV. I watch a lot of YouTube. Yeah, and I watched a little bit of a show called The Boys. It was on Amazon Prime.
Okay, I haven't seen that.
It was pretty interesting. If people are listening to this, know what that is. It's interesting enough to keep your attention for a few minutes, but not necessarily the whole hour long segment.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't really gotten too invested into any of their shows.
Well, maybe after spring you'll have a little bit of downtime. How's school going?
School's going great. Finished up a 18-page paper. Basically over the weekend and into Monday was when I ended up wrapping it up. A little bit more than I anticipated ever having in the MBA program here at Florida State. I haven't written that much volume since probably my freshman year of college. Doing a book report or something of that nature. But it was mainly based on econ. And I ended up enjoying the process of writing that, having to pick out 10 different economic indicators and then basically just telling your ideal form of an economy, right? The perfect economy. So it was a cool process. But yeah, 18-page paper, that was a lot. That was a lot to chew, at least over the weekend.
I'm glad you got it done. All right. Any final shout outs, anything you want to say before we get out of here for this week?
Yeah, so I got to give a big shout out to Good Sam, Camping World. They've done an awesome job, supporting me, supporting Big Man Big Heart. I'm working with their team right now to put together something very special around the event. It's faith, family, football, and fishing. So they're actually one of the main partners inside this event. They're going to help me with a lot of different aspects. Right now, we're finalizing some of the details. They put on a few different Be Good, Do Good events throughout the year that are really inspiring. So if you have time, please check them out, goodsam.com. They've done some great work, donated a significant amount of money to Big Man Big Heart, have helped me out. And at least they acquire an RV and a trailer and things like that. Hopefully, I'll be able to do here in the future. They've also afforded me the opportunity to potentially give away an RV trip to a lucky Florida State fan. So please check out Good Sam. Maybe shoot him a tweet. Tell him thank you for sponsoring Dillan Gibbons and Big Man Big Heart. The last shout out I'll give out is for Wade Bontrager. It's basically there's some National Truck Protection. They're another group that actually sponsored one of my interns here at Big Man Big Heart. So they actually afforded me the ability to bring on an intern, someone to help alleviate my day-to-day schedule and grow Big Man Big Heart to something more than I could potentially do by myself. Again, I have a wonderful team behind me. People like Josh, my mom, my dad, my brother and my sisters. They all helped me out throughout this process. But them to be able to afford me another individual has been an absolutely amazing experience. So if you have a light duty, a heavy duty truck, you need insurance, please check out National Truck Protection. And ask for Wade Bontrager is your CEO. I worked with him during one of my internships. He's a great individual, and I can't say enough good things about National Truck Protection. I saw them from the top up and the bottom down, throughout that process of that internship. So again, they have a wonderful product. So please check out National Truck Protection, and big shout out to Good Sam as well.
All right. Thank you, Dillan. And thank you guys for listening and supporting Big Man Big Heart. We will be back.